Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Keith Franklin, and I have been able to attend Josiah Quincy for the past 14 years. Now, with being at this school, I was able to achieve the goals of attending Morehouse College. I may now ask you guys to please join me in welcoming to the podium the first African-American mayor of Boston, Kim Janey.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Give it up for Keith, a Morehouse man. Thank you, Keith, so much for that introduction. Thank you for all you have done in terms of your hard work and perseverance. I know it has not been easy. I want to acknowledge a few folks that are here with us today. Some of them you will hear from. I certainly want to give some congratulations and praise to our Superintendent, Brenda Cassellius. Please give it up for her. I want to acknowledge the Boston School Committee. I don't know that any members are here, but certainly they do important work every single day on behalf of our children. I also want to thank some of the elected officials who are here. We are joined by my good friend, Councilor Ed Flynn. Where are you, Eddie? Boston City Councilor Ed Flynn, who represents this area and has been a strong supporter and an advocate for this community. I also want to acknowledge that we are joined by State Senator Joe Boncory. Where are you, Senator? Thank you so much for your leadership and your partnership. We also have in the House former Boston City Councilor Bill Linehan. Please give it up for him. I also want to recognize, she is not here, but she has been an incredible advocate and a partner in this work, my good friend, State Treasurer Deb Goldberg. She couldn't be with us today, but please give it up for her and recognize her work on this project. I want to acknowledge Executive Director Jack McCarthy, who is sitting over here. Thank you so much. He is from the Mass School Building Authority. I want to thank him and his entire team. I have some additional folks on my team who are here. I am joined by the Chief of Civic Engagement, Aisha Miller. Please give it up for her. Chief of Operations, Dion Irish, is here. We also have the former Chief of Operations, Pat Brophy, is here. And you may notice a pattern with some former folks and some current folks here. This project has been a long time coming. This is a 20-year project, and finally we are here. And so it was important to recognize all of the folks who have been part of this process along the way. And I want to shout out just a few more folks. Certainly we have the upper school co-headmasters that are here, Richard Chang and Steve Sarasulo. Did I get that right, Steve? Where are you? Thank you. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention Bok Fong Wong and Suzanne Lee, who have been incredible partners and leaders in this community, who are both here today. And then finally, to the staff, to the families, to all of the children who are represented here today. These children that you see sitting here, our children, will be the beneficiaries of the hard work that everyone has put in. And so I want to thank the families, I want to thank the staff for their dedication and everything that they've done over the last 20 years as we celebrate this important milestone. So please give it up for our young people and our families. This day is incredibly important. We know certainly that the past 15 months have not been easy for anyone in the city of Boston, in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, or in our country. And here in this community, it has been particularly difficult because in addition to dealing with COVID, the public health crisis, dealing with the challenges around our economy and what that has meant in terms of small businesses having to deal with difficult times that we are still climbing out of. We know that this community in particular has dealt with a surge in anti-Asian hate and violence. And so to come together today to celebrate this important milestone where we are opening up, well, not yet, we got a couple more years, but where we're putting shovels in the ground to celebrate this important day is just a testament to the hope and the resiliency that this community demonstrates every single day. And I couldn't be more proud to stand here not only as the first black mayor, Keith, but the first woman mayor for the city of Boston. In Boston, our Chinatown right here is the third largest Chinatown in the United States, and it is a beacon of hope. And we are here despite the hardships, despite the setbacks, despite everything that may have seemed like an obstacle. We have turned them into opportunities, opportunities for a new school and opportunities for the children that you see sitting here today. I want us all to continue to come together to do the hard work that is before us. There's more difficult times before us, but I am completely encouraged because of the resiliency of this community and the residents of Boston who always come together when it is tough, and we always persevere and we always overcome because that is who we are as a city and that is who we are as a Chinatown community. So I'm just grateful for all of the ways that community have come together, that we have stood together in the face of adversity, and that we will continue to stand to make sure that our young people have every opportunity to succeed today, tomorrow, and long into the future. So with that, I want to get on to the next speaker. I want to hear some more great music, and I want to get some shovels in the ground. Thank you, everyone who made this important day possible.
I would now like to introduce the Superintendent of Boston Public Schools, Dr. Brenda Cassellius.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Josiah Quincy Upper School and Elementary School. Boys and girls, do you know that we are building your school right now? The one that you are going to be able to go to. Are you excited? We are so excited for you to be able to build this wonderful, beautiful school. But before I do that, I do have to thank some people, even though the mayor did such a wonderful job of thanking everybody. I want to thank the mayor herself. Thank you so much for your incredible, long-standing work of Boston Public Schools children. And your dedicated commitment to continue this work into the future. I thank you so very much. I thank Councilor Flynn. What a great partner you've been to all of us at the Boston Public Schools. Thank you very much for your advocacy for our communities, particularly our Asian community. I want to thank Dion Irish and Pat Brophy for coming and working on this great project. Thank you guys. And Justin Sterrett, who freed up the money to do this project. I want to thank Sam DePina and Indira Alvarez, who are going to be the Chief Operations Officer with their team, Sue McCann and Brian McLaughlin. All of the work that they've done, and then of course the MSBA. Not only this project here, but supporting us in the Boston Public Schools on all of our building projects, because we are going to be giving kids the schools they deserve over the next 50 years. And I can't thank them enough for being such great partners. So thank you, Mr. McCarthy, for that. It is a privilege to join you today and break ground at our new school building. What an exciting time for the JQUS community. This is a long time coming for the Chinatown community. I wasn't here for all of the history of what happened with this freeway, but I was told by Ms. Lee about the pain and the healing that this building will bring. So thank you also for your many years of dedication as a teacher, now on our ELL task force and helping us. So thank you so much. And then, of course, our principal, Mr. Chang. He is a great champion for children here in the JQUS community, and I can't thank you enough for your personal support to me as superintendent these 2 years. It's been absolutely fabulous to get your notes and emails too, so thank you very much. Each of our students deserves access to high-quality facilities and advanced learning spaces. This new building is going to be one of the many manifestations our Build PPS initiative is going to use to address overall infrastructure and improvements to provide 21st century learning environments to our students. The new JQS building will also further support our high school redesign with adding increased rigor, opportunity to close opportunity gaps, and advance equitable learning experience for all of our students from preschool to career. This would not be possible without the support of our many city leaders throughout the years and the City of Boston's investment in our students' futures year after year. I'd also like to make sure that we continue to engage all of our city in the design of this building and also to be able to forward the work of this incredible project that adds to some of the other projects that we've done, such as the Boston Arts Academy that is about to open up next year, our Dearborn Academy, the Carter School project that we're doing, and then the announcements of 4 major renovations and 5 new builds over the next several years here. Just an incredibly exciting time to be able to give students the school buildings that they deserve. I also want to make notice of the International Baccalaureate program that is here. Part of our high school redesign is to increase added rigor so that we have more than just 3 schools that people see as great value for their students, but really schools across every neighborhood. High quality schools, high quality high schools, strong pathways from age 3 all the way through grade 12 so that our children can thrive in the arts and in the rigor of academics, and also have opportunities to engage co-curricular. So thank you for encouraging all of our students to have that. But most importantly, it's going to serve as a model across this city and really across the nation on how we do school well and the kind of environments that children deserve. So I'm excited to see this project grow, and also looking forward to seeing all of you at the grand celebration coming in the next several years. So thank you very much.
I would now like to introduce the Chief of Operations for the City of Boston, Dion Irish.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to start by thanking Mayor Janey. I want to thank Superintendent Cassellius for their leadership and partnership on this amazing project, ensuring that our students have the kind of school buildings that will foster future success. I would also like to welcome and thank our elected officials once more. Councilor Ed Flynn, great partner in this endeavor and in many other endeavors in his district. Senator Joe Boncourt, I want to thank them for their leadership and their partnership throughout this process. The new Josiah Quincy Upper School has been a long time coming, as you all know, and we're very pleased to be breaking ground on this project today. Our initial application to the MSBA was submitted in 2012, with many people having contributed to this project. We are incredibly thankful to State Treasurer Deb Goldberg and Executive Director Jack McCarthy and CEO Jim McDonald for enabling us to provide this customized building to the Boston Public Schools and the Chinatown community. Superintendent Cassellius, Principal Richard Chang, BPS leadership, and the JQUS community set a clear vision for the Josiah Quincy School and worked hand in hand with the Public Facilities Department to bring us here today. The school building has a projected cost of $194 million, up to $52 million of which will be reimbursed by the MSBA. So thank you, MSBA. The new school would include a state-of-the-art academic facility with classrooms, science labs, a food science lab, and technology lab. The school will have 435-seat auditorium, a 125-seat black box theater, a 10,000 square foot gym that can accommodate 400 people, and a 250-seat cafeteria. The land for this project was acquired in part from the Boston Chinese Evangelical Church. With that land acquisition, this building would not be possible. We are extremely thankful to them and also to the Boston Planning and Development Agency for making this project a reality. We also thank the Mass Department of Transportation, the MBTA, the Chinatown Safety Committee, the Chinatown Master Plan Committee, the Chinese Progressive Association, and the Chinatown Land Community Land Trust for their contributions and support for this project. The City of Boston Office of Budget Management, our CFO Justin Sterrett, who's here with us today. Thank you, Justin. Our Department of Intergovernmental Relations, the Transportation Department, the Public Works Department. I want to catch everybody. The Disabilities Commission, the Landmarks Commission, the Parks Department, the Inspection Services Department, the Fire Department, City Clerk's Office, the Office of Language Access, and last but not least, our Office of Neighborhood Services all played critical roles in this process, and I thank them all for their contributions. Finally, I'd like to thank the dedicated and hardworking staff of the Public Facilities Department, led by our Director, Kerry Griffin, as well as all the consultants, HMF8 architects, our owner project manager, Skanska USA, both of whom have been with us since 2012, but last but not least, Turner Construction. All three companies provided invaluable guidance throughout the design and feasibility phases of this project, and I know that their thoughtful approach and creative thinking and quick problem solving and expertise would lead to an amazing asset for years to come. So we want to thank everyone for being a part of this, and I also want to give a special additional shout out to former Chief of Operations Pat Brophy for the critical role you also played in this. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce the Executive Director of the Massachusetts School Building Authority, Jack McCarthy.
It's still morning, okay. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Treasurer Goldberg and the rest of the staff at the MSBA, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this celebration. You know, the mission of the MSBA is to partner with Massachusetts communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this project certainly meets that ideal. Benjamin Franklin, who also went to a famous school in Boston, that Pat Brophy did not go to, but anyway, that's a private joke between he and I. But anyway, Pat, you'll like this. So Ben Franklin once said, an investment in education pays the best interest. And we at the MSBA are proud to be your investing partners. Our share of projects in Boston is over $400 million since we've been around since 2004. And that's quite a large amount of money, and we're happy to be there. This project, as people have alluded to, had many twists and turns. I started at the MSBA in September of 2011. The project was actually in our pipeline prior to that. So how many of you students over here, how many of you students are less than 10 years old? We were working on this long before you were born. And you know, people have worked hard on this, and I got to say, Richard Chang has been through the war on this with me. We've gone through many twists, many turns, and I always wonder what makes him not quit. And then you look around and you see the dedicated staff, you see the young, bright scholars, and it's so clear why, because that's what they deserve. They deserve a world-class education, and they deserve a world-class facility to have it in. So students, your teachers are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Some of you look at the people up here. Some of you look at the people here. Some of you turn around to look at the staff. And on the count of 3, I just want you to say thank you, and then immediately calm down afterwards, okay? So let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So I always like to close my remarks, and it's sort of with this quote that sort of tells you how we feel about what we do at the MSBA. Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once described a school as a building of 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are so proud to be part of tomorrow for the city of Boston. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce the principal and head of school at the Josiah Quincy Upper School, Richard Chang.
Good morning, everyone. It occurred to me just a moment ago, this feels like a baby shower. And many of you know we've had a long and difficult labor. In fact, sad to say, we had a couple of miscarriages along the way. But I think this one is going to be alive and kicking and healthy. So I'm really glad to say, welcome to our baby shower. Sorry, I got to change my eyes here. Yeah, this is when you get old, this is what happens. Thank you very much, Mayor Janey, first African-American mayor and women mayor, and probably the most youthful mayor in a long time. Now I can think about that. But anyway, thank you very much for your support and also just carrying our work forward in Boston. These are difficult times. Thank you. And Dr. Cassellius, this is becoming a habit. Every Tuesday you're with us, right? Last week at Fenway Park at graduation, you saw Keith, you saw Anna, and thank you. Welcome again, and hopefully we'll meet every Tuesday from now on. Thank you. And Chief Irish, welcome. Thank you for your service in Boston. Again, that's probably one of the most important jobs there. People don't realize it. When everything goes well, nobody says anything to you, right? Of course, Executive Director McCarthy. I don't need to say it's been a difficult labor, and I think you're one of the few who understands all the twists and turns, and also just the forbearance. I'm pretty sure, I shouldn't say this, but the Director of McCarthy probably bent some rules along the way. I mean, it seemed like just the timeline and everything, everything just went out the window because this project was so exceptional, and I appreciate that forbearance. And of course, our elected officials, Senator and also Mr. Flynn. I don't know if you know Counselor Flynn. He has worn out pairs of his sneakers just walking around our neighborhood. All I can say is that I go to a lot of community meetings, and he's there all the time, and I know that I only go to just a fraction of community meetings that are out there, so I can only imagine, you know, and I appreciate his family for just sharing him with us, so appreciate Counselor Flynn. And I also want to acknowledge our numerous community leaders, but in particular, I saw Angie Liu from ACDC. It's not that ACDC, it's the Asian Community Development Corporation. Angie's just been a tireless champion of housing in Boston and has been a partner and working with us. And also, I don't know if I saw Lydia Lowe of Chinatown Land Trust. Actually, Lydia has given birth to so many organizations, you know, Chinese Progressive Association, the Chinatown Resident Association, Chinatown Land Trust. I think she has 5 email addresses because of that. But anyway, thank you. And of course, Suzanne Lee. It's nice to have all of our Quincy school principals, Dr. Wong, Suzanne Lee, and Cynthia Su, who Cynthia, I think, has started kindergarten at the Quincy school. So definitely the turning of the wheel. Wanted to thank our students. So we got the little peeps over here in 2nd grade, and they're going to be the first to see our new building, experience it. And then we got the big peeps around us. They're going to be in, I think, 10th grade, 11th grade when the new building's constructed. So we look forward to that. And you're going to have a first of all, the food's going to be much better. Okay, so that you have that to look forward to. And the many special friends we have here who've been part of this project, as alluded to by Mayor Janey. This has been a long process. I want to recognize the tip of the spear. That would be Chief Brophy over here. He was, you know, he made things happen. Okay, so when the mayor says something, it was Chief Brophy on the ground making it happen. I'll just say right behind him, or maybe right in front of him, would be Brian McLaughlin. So he's right there working and tirelessly through the entire process. So appreciate that very much. And of course, I want to acknowledge my special partner, fellow leader, Steve Sorosolo. I'm a Gemini, so he's my twin. I think it's fair to say I'm the right brain and he's the left brain, okay? He's the one who makes the trains run on time, all right? If it were up to me, boy, you know, school might not be open on time. But anyway, I just want to take us back to 1999 when a very special group of individuals actually founded this school, the Josiah Quincy Upper School, as a pilot school, and they obtained the charter, they wrote the charter, got it approved by school committee, and actually founded the school. Started with just the first floor of this modular building. They trucked it from the south, I think plopped it down, and they asked Dr. Wong, where do you want the windows? And they punched out the holes, right, for the windows. And then the second year, another layer was added. But I want to acknowledge them because they're here today. So, of course, if you would just stand and remain standing. So Dr. Bak Fun Wan is our visionary founder, leader. And I want to acknowledge our families. So I saw Robin Coyne. Where are you, Robin? Keep standing. Lie so. And then Samantha, okay, lie. And then Samantha Grimsley, keep standing. Is Howie Spicer here? Judge Howie Spicer. Not too sure, but his wife, Hongwei Spicer, was also a founder. And anybody, oh, Donna Harris. And, oh, Agatha Tong. Yeah, please stand, Ms. Tong. Anybody else? Any other parents who are founding families of JQ? Okay, please stand. And then I want to acknowledge our staff. So I saw Jim Meyer. Jim Meyer, where are you? Okay, there we go, Jim Meyer. And then, well, Agatha Tong was on staff, not so much a parent. But anyway, any other staff who was here with us at the very beginning? I wasn't here. I was here 14 years ago. Oh, Malcolm Mitchell, that's right, Malcolm. Sorry. Malcolm. And then how about the founding students? So we have, where's Andre Grimsley? Okay, so it turns out Andre is actually Keith's older brother. He's the eldest. And then Demetrius couldn't be with us. She's the second. But anyway, all children of Ms. Grimsley. So anyway, please, actually, let's give a final, big round of applause for them. For without their visionary, these are the visionary pioneers. Without their vision, we wouldn't be existing today. So I want to appreciate that. Sometimes privately, go ahead, please be seated. Occasionally, in private, Dr. Wong and I, he's also the elder of the Boston Chinese Evangelical Church. And I said, Dr. Wong, maybe you're like Moses, right? You took the children of Israel out of Egypt into the desert, but now you got to get Joshua to bring the children into the promised land. So I guess, Dr. Wong, I'm glad to say, you're with us and you're here and you're part of it, but you started the whole thing. So thank you. We know that the process, this 20-year process of building this project, the most difficult part was finding the land. It's not a secret that land is very scarce in Boston. And as the mayor alluded to, and Suzanne has experienced this, her family experienced this, is I take us back to 1959 when the Central Artery Project was complete. That's the expressway. And in the process of developing the Central Artery, families upon families in Chinatown were, I guess politely said, dislocated. Okay? That means they were forcibly removed. They lost their homes. They lost their houses to the project so that the highway could be built in the interest of the public good, and it just cut Chinatown, ran right through Chinatown. Actually, if you know the Chinese Merchant Association building, which is, I believe, 20 Hudson Street, on the top, I think it says, "Welcome to Chinatown," has those letters. But the Chinese building, the Merchant Building Association, or the Chinese Merchant Association building, if you go inside and you go into their auditorium, you're going to say, boy, this is really strange. Because what happened was, it was constructed and finished in 1951. And then a year later, 1952, the city had to take literally half of that building. So it bisected the building. So if you go into the auditorium, you'll see exactly where they cut the building in half so that they can make space for the Central Artery Project. So it's a very vivid reminder of the very literal, it's like just the way that the land was seized from Chinatown. And then 1965, the Mass Pike. So right over here, the Mass Pike. This project then took more land from Chinatown, acres upon acres. And it wasn't necessary for the pike to connect to the artery over here, but as things would have it, the powers that be decided that it was the easiest to run it right through Chinatown, and so again bisected Chinatown. Actually, Chinatown used to run south of the pike, right? It's like the Transjordan. It used to go beyond the pike, but as soon as the pike came in, it's like an amputation, and so the southern part of Chinatown just withered away. And it was actually one of my students who did that piece of research. So in that context, I especially appreciate our affordable housing advocates. So again, Angie Liu, Lydia Lowe, and her colleagues, because the reality is this: if we don't have affordable housing in Chinatown, I would say that our student enrollment would diminish, right? most of our kids here. Now, Chinatown is very diverse, so it's not just Chinese heritage kids living here. It's also our Black and Latinx families living here. And we're 85% low income right now. And if gentrification continues and we aren't able to secure affordable housing, that's going to be a long-term, it's an existential problem for JQUS. At least we wouldn't be the school that we are today, serving low-income students and getting them to excellent colleges such as Morehouse, and Anna will share. She's going to Yale. We got kids into Princeton, Cornell. She's going to Yale, Cornell, Dartmouth, Johns Hopkins, and just you name it. Vanderbilt, Wesleyan, Williams, right? Emory. Of course, locally, Tufts, Northeastern, BUBC. Actually, a quarter of our seniors got into Northeastern, right? 1 in 4 got into Northeastern. So that's really something. Just one more piece of history. So Scollay Square is where Government Center, City Hall Plaza is located today. That area was called Scollay Square. I know this from history. I didn't live it, but it used to be the red light district in its day, and it was in the 50s. I think it was the red light district, bustling, and then the urban planners in the 60s decided that as part of urban renewal, that Scollay Square had to be relocated so that piece of land could be developed into City Hall Plaza and Government Center. So where was the red light district sent? It was sent further down Washington Street between Boylston Street and Neyland Street. Guess what? That's Chinatown. And so that was in the 60s. So when I was at Harvard in 1982 as a freshman, I remember feeling a lot of shame that my classmates would talk about going to the combat zone in Chinatown, right? To have your own culture denigrated like that. That was a very, very difficult time, that period of time. And to have people say, they just associate the Chinese, because there are a lot of, kids from Harvard who are from the hinterland. So they've never seen Chinatown before. So they just said, is it something about the culture that promotes gambling and such? I said, no. To think that people thought Chinese culture was engendered, gambling, prostitution, pornography, perversion, that hurts a young person's self-esteem. And I think I'm glad to say today, I guess it's a side benefit of gentrification, because technically on the books of, I believe this is still on the books of Boston ordinances, Chinatown is still zoned as an adult entertainment district. And unfortunately, because of this designation, it's oftentimes seen as an industrial location. And I'll just put it out there. So it's no secret that I am very, very deeply opposed to marijuana operators coming in to try to set up shop. I voted for legalization. I voted for that. As a former public defender, I believe in legalization. However, there is a right place and time for that. And with the legacy of Combat Zone, that just harkens back to the very difficult memories of what happened in Chinatown previously. So anyway, so that's, again, I think community leaders know that that's something I feel very strongly about. And again, we have kids who are going off to the top colleges, and I don't want any one of them to be impacted. But again, I'm not arguing the appropriateness of the legalization of cannabis. But anyway, so I just put it out there that our community has been impacted adversely by in multiple ways. And I think this, I applaud the city leaders, and I applaud Mayor Walsh, and I applaud Mr. McCarthy for their role in helping our community to heal. And I think the Quincy Upper building will go far, far in helping our community. There'll be a lot of public spaces for our young people, not just weekdays, but also even on weekends and so on. So anyway, I just wanted to end Ms. Grimsley, I know that we told you when Andre started at the Quincy Upper School that he would see the day that the new building was built, right? And then so he came and he graduated. Then comes Demetrius, and we said the same thing to Demetrius, and then she graduated. And then we said the same thing to Keith, right? And he just graduated. Well, Keith, at least you get to see the groundbreaking. But good news is, so Andre's little boy and Demetrius' little one, they will go to class in the Quincy Upper building, okay? So I can safely say that. So anyway, thank you very much.
I would now like to introduce my former classmate and valedictorian of the graduating class of 2021, Anna Zhao.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's still morning. My name is Anna Zhao, and it's great to be here with all of you today. It's an amazing day filled with excitement in the air. Welcome, Mayor Janey, Dr. C, all the officials, and every single stakeholder at the JQ community. It's all wonderful, and the students here who are the future of our school. For as long as I've been at JQ, since the elementary school, there has been conversations about a new school building combining all the grade levels from the middle throughout high school. Many of us are here today and have been at the conversation table. As a student who have received the full JQ experience from middle, elementary, and high school, I've truly come to appreciate this community that we've built. We've walked up and down those heavy stairs on Arlington Street, and we've walked in the snow and rain to the YMCA for gym classes, and we've played in this very same spot in middle school. Today is a very special day, and this is opening the next chapter of JQ history and everyone in this community. After decades of hard work, our school is finally receiving a new building from the city. Thank you, Mayor Janey, and every single stakeholder who are here today that have contributed your hard work into this. And most importantly, the students and family and the founders of the JQ community. None of this would have happened without any of you. And importantly, the students here, like our second graders, who will be the first ones receiving this new building. It is great to see you here, and you will live the full JQ experience with this new building. And from this moment forward, JQ will step into a new era awaiting this new school building. This building is symbolic for the resilience and perseverance of our school community, especially in the past 15 months. And in a couple of years, this JQ school community will take on the definition and meaning of our mascot, the Phoenix, rising from the ashes stronger and better. And quite literally from the ashes, because this building will be demolished and there will be dust and ashes. In this new era, our middle and high school students will get to interact with each other and learn from each other. This is all very exciting and near and dear to my heart, even as a recent graduate of our high school. It's great to see all my classmates that are here, like Keith today. Great to see everyone going off to wonderful places. We are inheriting this planet. As a middle and elementary school student, I've always looked up to the students at our high school. They were like the older brother and sisters I've never had growing up. And seeing all their accomplishments and achievements just made me happy and made me want to work harder and just be like them. I can't wait to see what the JQ community will establish in the future in this new symbolic building. The students will have the opportunity to access an indoor gym, professional music and theater classrooms that I have not experienced, and so many more to become. And experiences the students will have are going to be so important to our community and to their growth and active citizens. All the students in the audience today, remember that you are the future of JQ. You will all get to leave your mark on the school, and you decide to define what that mark is. And when time comes to graduate, just wait and see where you will go. Seize all the opportunities that you will come across, and don't be afraid to take the first steps and step into those new experiences and places that people have never been before. You will have so many more pathways to explore that are provided with this new building and all of these new opportunities. Once again, a sincere thank you to everyone here today, and especially all the stakeholders and contributors that have made this building happen. None of this would be here, and none of us would be here or in this spot without all of you. And in these times, we're all experiencing changes, but hope is in the horizon. And to the next chapter of JQ and all the children's future. Thank you.
I would now like to end the speaking portion of our program by thanking all of our speakers that we were able to have today. Now I ask you guys to join us where that dirt is, right at the basketball court behind us for the ceremonial groundbreaking.